Hello Bruins fans. Welcome, here you will receive the latest Boston Bruins news firsthand. We don't share fake news. We try to post only true and quality information. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest updated Boston news that we post here daily. With 5 games left, the Boston Bruins are about to end a truly historic regular season. They are close to breaking the record for most wins in an 82-game season and are 5 points behind the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens for most points earned by a team in a single season. They've already won the President's Trophy and will enter the postseason in just a few weeks as the #1 seed in the NHL. They have been truly dominant since the puck drop in Game 1 in October. They are currently December 5th, 61, and it took until well past the halfway point before they recorded double figures in the losing column. When David Krejci decided to leave the NHL to play hockey in his native Czech Republic in 2021, the Bruins lost a valuable component in their offense and struggled to find a consistent replacement for his role. While they got a good stretch in the spring of 2022 from a second row of David Pastrnak, Taylor Hall and Eric Haula, it still wasn't quite the same as having the trusty Krejci at that midpoint of the second row. Krejci's decision to return to Boston last offseason, along with the rehiring of Patrice Bergeron, was a big part of why the Bruins were successful this season. Krejci has shown that he is still a legitimate threat at center forward even at the age of 36. In 70 games this season, he has 16 goals and 40 assists for 56 points, consistent with what he has done throughout his career. He is 4th on the team in total points behind Pastrnak, Brad Marchand and Bergeron. His return brought stability to the offensive lines that was lacking in 2021-22. The Bruins have benefited from tremendous depth on offense this season, thanks to guys at the top who are stepping up to their potential and positioning forwards in roles where they can succeed. The Krejci, Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha lineup has been truly remarkable this season, and it wouldn't have been possible without the 36-year-old's return to Boston. Looking at the season predictions as we come to the end of 2022-23 is always an interesting experience. It's even more interesting to look back and remember that the Bruins really weren't considered favorites this season. Many would have them potentially finishing 3rd in the Atlantic Division or sneaking into a wild card spot, certainly not the top seed they currently are. But the Bruins quickly made it clear that the Stanley Cup window had not yet closed. They started the 2022-23 season strongly, winning 8 of their 9 games in the month of October. They then set an NHL record for most home wins to start a season. They didn't suffer their first home regulation loss until January 12th against the Seattle Kraken. Their remarkable start has really shown they are contenders, and they've maintained that throughout 2022-23. Bergeron is arguably one of the most respected current players in the NHL and one of the best two-way players of all time. He only added to his numerous career accolades, which include 5 Selke trophies and a Stanley Cup, when he collected his 1,000th career point on November 21st against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was 19 years after his first career point, on October 15, 2003. The Bruins captain has had a fantastic career and it looks set for him to become the 4th player in franchise history to do so. Also, a few games later, Bergeron passed Phil Esposito on the team's all-time leaderboard. He currently ranks 3rd with 1,039 career points, trailing only legends Johnny Bucyk, 1,339, and Ray Bourque, 1,506. He is also in the top 10 by teammates Krejci and Marchand. His 1,000th point was a true highlight of the season, and it was obvious how excited the rest of the guys were for him. Even Lightning players showed their respect for the moment in a truly classy play by the Bruins' Atlantic Division rival. The Bruins were fortunate enough to be able to participate in their 4th Winter Classic this past January, their 3rd hosting. It was held on January 2nd at historic Fenway Park, just a few stops away from TD Garden. Aside from the great fashion, it was actually a good game too, between 2 very similar teams going for one of their last chances at the Stanley Cup with an aging core of superstars. The Winter Classic always brings a great level of excitement to the host city, the teams playing and the fan base. It is the most-watched regular season game on cable in the United States, solidifying it as the NHL's signature event. It got even sweeter for Bruins fans with a 2-1 victory after Jake DeBrusk scored 2 goals in the third period and subsequently injured his leg. Pastrnak reached the 50-goal mark for the first time in a long time. He almost missed out on the 2019-20 season, scoring 48 before COVID-19 took a break and finally ended the regular season early. Between injuries and a slow start, he failed to reach the mark in the following seasons, but this year, it was clear from day one that he was not here to play this season. Pastrnak has been the Bruins' best player this season, and it was a well-deserved moment when he finally hit the 50-goal mark for the first time against the Carolina Hurricanes on March 26. First time in career. Even more remarkable than Pastrnak reaching 50 goals for the first time? There's a chance he could reach 60 as well. He's currently on 57 goals in 78 games and has 4 more games to potentially score 3 more goals and reach the mark. He's been in trouble lately, scoring 6 goals in his last 5 games, including a hat trick against the Penguins on April 1. Pastrnak was one of the best parts of the 2022-23 regular season and deservedly earned his contract extension last month. He was already an elite talent, but he somehow took it to another level this year. Now let's wait and see what he can do in the postseason. Already leave your like in this video because it is very important so that you don't miss any news from the Bruins, which we will post on this channel at any moment. Thank you. Continuing. As mentioned, it's been a pretty remarkable and historic season for the Bruins. There are many great moments and several ended up outside the top 5, so here are some honorable mentions. The first is General Manager, GM, Don Sweeney's big trade deadline. He gets his much-deserved flack when talking about his draft history, but he certainly proved himself to be a seasoned GM at the trade deadline. He managed to acquire Dmitry Orlov, Garnet Hathaway and Tyler Bertuzzi to meet the needs of the cast without giving up important parts that would hinder the chemistry of the team. Another honorable mention has to go to Zach's appearance this season. After joining the Bruins in a trade from the New Jersey Devils over the summer, he got a chance to play first row with Bergeron before settling into a comfortable second-row position with Krejci and Pastrnak, allowing him to thrive. In 78 games, he had 53 points, including 18 goals, far surpassing his previous career high of 36 points in 70 games last season. Final honors must go to Linus Ullmark for his fantastic season and the first returns of Marchand and Charlie McAvoy from injury. With 4 games left in the regular season, it will certainly be interesting to see what final records the Bruins can break before moving into the playoffs. It's wonderful to have you here. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments so that together we can expand our knowledge of Boston through this channel. If you like the content, how about subscribing to the channel and helping spread it to more Bruins fans? It would motivate me even more to post news daily and keep it always up to date. In addition, you will be notified as soon as new news about Boston is posted. Thank you very much for your support.